Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Recon Paint Gaming. I'm Patrick,
And I am Padre.
and coming soon to a store near you, Wave 13 for World of Tanks, the miniatures game. And, oh, they
Oh,
delivered.
hold on. I just gotta say it. Thank you, Gale Force 9.
Yep.
You're
So,
sweet.
in the core set, it does state that this should be coming out February. You can pre-order this now for their usual low price of about $12 per tank. And which tanks are we getting this turnaround?
Oh, for the Germans, we're getting the E100.
Oh, yes.
It's a big dog.
they're
It
all
really is.
they're all big. There are no small tanks in this pack.
And it's of course it's the gorgeous German lines of the tank, and it's just wonderful.
Yeah.
It really is.
Next up
It's
is the Soviets T-62A.
yeah, which if you notice now the tanks are changing. I mean, of course they still have the exterior, fuel tanks, which I'm like, okay, go for that. But notice the turret top has changed radically from what we've been seeing.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that when we get to it. Next up is the Tortoise for the UK. What? What, we're gonna do a
We can do the
T-29?
tortoise. Well, I was planning the T95,
Or the
but
T-95 rather.
no, we can do the tortoise first. We're still going to talk about this stuff, but the tortoise is that's an unusual looking tank. I should say,
Yeah,
tank destroyer.
it's definitely one of those tanks that looks like, what do we got in the back that we could scrape together and make a ship or make a tank out of?
It's like, were you high?
Yep.
For sure,
Well,
dude. Right?
it's to the point to where, like, when you're designing these things, you got to work in a certain direction. So, do you start from the treads up? Do you start from the turret down? Do you start from the barrel out? Do you start from the inside
I think they
out?
started. I think they started from like marijuana moving to LSD. Is where I thought.
Okay. So, yeah.
But it's almost like, hey, let's see if we can make a tank as tall as a Lee.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody will see us.
And the top almost as wide as the base. And then,
Yeah.
all right.
You know,
And then a tank right out of the future, the T-95. That
yeah.
thing looks
Another tank
like
destroyer.
it's like
Hell
steampunk.
on wheels.
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
it's
This should be on like Panzer on Girls kind of a tank. This
oh
would
yeah.
be something that would be a good use.
I think I'm gonna modify. I'm gonna have like tubes coming out of it, gears just like glued to it, just to make it look more steampunk.
Yeah, exactly. That would be a good way to describe that tank, a steampunk tank.
All right.
But it's got decent stats though.
Well, so we can start going into those. We're gonna start with the E100. Of
Yeah.
course, if so, I get email updates. Everyone should. If you don't, you can subscribe to their emails. And I don't know if this is intentional, but their email photos are very, very clear.
Yes. Yes, they are. Yes.
So
Yes.
I can't see I can't see all of it, but I can see a lot of it. So starting with the E100 German tank. This thing,
Germans. Yeah.
God, where can I start with this thing? So you get
let's start with the commander card.
okay. So Eva, and then it looks like either Diener or Denver. That is preventative maintenance and repair. I can't see for how much points, but I'm going to guess 9 because I believe that card's come up before with other crew. And that I believe is, I can't tell. I think it's because you got Gunner. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a Gunner. So
yeah,
that's pretty nifty. You've got coated optics.
4.5 points per goodie.
Yeah.
So I don't mind 9.
No.
Let's face it.
Then you got Eagle Eye as well as Dead Eye. So that's how I equip my tank destroyers, but this is on a heavy tank. So this is definitely meant to pump out crits. It's meant to go through the crits, see which ones you get, and make sure that you are incapacitated. That's my best guess.
And if you need it, there's chocolate.
Mm-hmm. Every
Uh,
tank should come with chocolate. You want to
I'm,
go over those
I'm
stats?
7 firepower.
7.
7. Better part. 12 hit points. The Germans liked them big. Mobility of 2,
It's
which for
already
a heavy
improvement.
tank,
Already an improvement from the mouse.
right? Initiative 4, and then the survivability 4.
So
So let's face it. This is an end game tank.
yeah, well, this is the basically they took the mouse, they made it into
Right.
a monstrosity on wheels that like really had no reason to be a tank in the first place,
Correct.
and they
Correct.
learned from it. They could definitely tell that they learned from it.
Sure. Sure. And then we get this. Now, you tell them the depressing part in the top right corner.
Oh, this thing is I can't read the exact amount of points, but I think it's somewhere around the 140.
I think you are correct in that assumption, sir. Uh, it's just it's monstrously large, and there's a big cost to it. And we've come a long way from
Oh,
the
jeez.
starter set
Yeah, the Stuart
of
and the the Panzer.
yeah, we've come a long way from that. And in the rule book, it's like, oh, start your first game off with 100 points. And
Yeah,
then it's like, oh, 200 is nice. 200 is, we need to have a little bit more. Folks, if you're going to be fielding these, set your standards at 300.
yep.
Just start there.
That's what
Uh,
Adepticon's going to be at. And that's what
yeah,
tournaments are going to start running
I,
as 300 points.
and I don't mind. I really
No,
don't mind
I've been playing a
because
lot with Uncle Mark, and we have definitely been diving into a different sort of meta, and it's wonderful.
oh yeah, I mean, I just wonder, you know, how many naked chaffies could you get for 300 points?
I don't care how many you're going to get; they're not going to be good.
But but could but you have to kill them all in the time allotted.
Well, this is with 7 firepower, you're going to probably kill one a turn, and a Chaffee ain't going to kill this thing if it damage it at all. So I think you're fine.
I think we should try that.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I find
If you
I
want to
find that
wield 12
I
tanks,
I I just want to do it
it ain't going to do what you think it's going to
because
do.
it would be fun.
Oh,
Just
I think
like
it's comical. Yes, absolutely.
the one guy lays out his three tanks. I'm like, hold on, it's gonna take me a minute. And, here's my dozen.
That's that'll be more like the Warhammer what was it? Fantasy Days, to where you have them on a tray so that way you can just move them together to speed
Yeah.
up the process. But
So
this thing is definitely the mouse improved. The mobility is certainly going to help it. That's what we say is the drawback with the mouse is the one mobility. The thing has the
right.
same survivability. It's a heavy tank, so it's re-rolling defense. Its initiative is pretty. It's not like a 2, but it's not like a 6.
It's not a 6. It's not a 2. It's right there in the middle. And I'm not going to complain about that because we have upgrade cards that'll help us out with stuff.
Yeah, because with the reason that you had so many cards on your mouse is because of that one mobility. So you needed Sixth Sense, you needed things to help boost its initiative.
It,
With this,
it needed help.
I don't think you're going to need much help on this thing other than, I love preventative maintenance. That's really strong. I tested that in my previous match where 3 of my tanks had it, and it took a while for my opponent to chew through that many because I kept changing a hit to a crit to cancel out any crits from hitting me. I think I suffered
Yeah.
1 crit the entire game.
And it's definitely going to be a beast. And I think it'll have good play. But with anything, you know, there is pros and cons, and your mileage may vary. And some guys are steadfast German players, others are American players. Some are just like, hey, let's try this combination. Why not? And it's so much fun this way is to just to create your dream platoon and go to town.
See, I really think
So
this is good for you only because you don't like a lot of uh,
I don't like a lot of
complications.
tanks.
Well, you don't like. It's not even a
Correct.
lot of tank. You just don't like a lot of complications. This is so
I don't like
simplified.
handshakes. I
No,
don't like handshakes.
this is so
You know,
simplified. You could take this and maybe two other tanks, and you'd be formidable.
you
It'd definitely be hard.
know, and especially since the stroke, complications are not good for me. You know, and that. You know what? I have to say it. That's another wonderful thing about this game.
What?
You can make it as complicated as you want,
Oh
or as
yes.
simplified as you want to your play style, and
Oh man.
there's nobody forcing you into using this, that, and the other thing. It's just not there. You can use it if you want, but I've won with less and I've won with more, and it's all over the place. I love it.
Oh, forgetting
So
things is killer. Like I forgot at one point, my Centurion had like adrenaline rush. Completely forgot about that in a very crucial moment of
yeah,
the game. Forgot
and you're
about
in the red.
yeah, and I mean I had one health left, and there was another moment to where I forgot that my IS-3 had big gun for half the game, which is very crucial when you're firing
Yeah,
at things and need them to suffer crits because I had Deadeye. So yeah, you
and
can
your
make it
opponent
complicated.
generally isn't going to say, "Why aren't you using?"
Oh, and
Like,
I forgot that my light tank was right next to his tank, and I forgot to add another. So I could have been shooting 8 dice with. It wasn't my Centurion; it was my my T-29. I could have been shooting
do you
8 dice.
remember? Do you remember when we thought, the mythical 7 dice beast, if you did the right cards at the right time and the handshake and then the moon was in alignment, you could throw, and now we're talking about, oh yeah, I can throw 8 dice.
Uncle Mark
Who
got
would have
nine.
thunk that?
Uncle Mark got 9
It
against me. He had a
got 9 dice against it.
Challenger
That's
with adrenaline rush, and his light tank was next to me. He shot 9 dice at me.
ouch.
Oh
Uh,
yes.
All right.
What's
Enough with this
next?
German stuff.
Ah,
Let's
ist
go
das
to the
gut?
Russians. We go,
Okay.
das is good. Yeah, so we go to Russia. We go
Soviet.
get vodka and we
Oh,
drink when we drive tank. And maybe we go in circles, maybe not, but we fire off gun, things happen.
I
Watch out though for moose and squirrel.
I will say, I mean, I am a huge fan of the IS-2, and then they gave me the
Yeah.
IS-3, and I was like, oh man, this thing couldn't be any better. This is it.
Until the
Until
T-62A shows
and
up.
now this thing comes out. It's gorgeous. All right. It comes
Yes, it
with
really is. It's a
it,
beautiful tank too.
Lend-Lease oil. It comes with a heavy shell. Comes with
Yep.
what this one is it's like
I couldn't read it.
Shinas Armstrong. I can't remember, but
I am holding a magnifying glass up to my screen to see it.
okay. So and we had to cut this part, but because we couldn't really see it. But so it's signal boosting, which allows initiative tanks of a lower statute to gain +1 initiative. So that's actually a really good card in this tank. Preventative maintenance
It
again.
is.
You'll see the theme: preventative maintenance. Um,
Yep.
and then we've
And
got Maria.
unfortunately, yes, Maria. There's
Yes,
something about Maria.
exactly. And
And
that's snapshot and again repair.
yeah,
I got to tell you, repair is one of those cards. It's super cheap. It's starting to be added into cards like this with other abilities. And I mean, with preventative maintenance, you may not see it, but if you, for some reason, get 2 crits against you, it is so nice to be able to repair more than one.
yeah, yeah, yes, it is. And once again, the stat card. Let me
Oh
just
my
start
God.
off by saying, again,
Yes.
again, seven firepower, right? 3 survivability. Okay, so yes, it is not as good as the E100 in the survivability,
Well,
but
even the
its
IS-3 has 4. This thing has 3.
right,
Oh my God,
its mobility of 2.
that 4 for survivability
Look
is
at
ridiculous.
okay, look at the initiative.
7.
7, 12 hit points, 7 initiative, 3 survivability. I'm sorry. I'm calling this right now. Good tank.
But you want to
Right?
know something? I think it says 126 points. I'm not going to say that that's certain, but that's what it looks like. 126 points.
It does appear to be that. And and
Oh,
and we're just like everybody else. We can't, get any better screen resolution. And I understand
yeah, because they want
why
you to
the game
they want you to look.
companies do it this. It's like, oh, I can't tell what that card is. I'm gonna have to buy it for sure. And great,
Well, now,
jump on that.
now they're going to watch this and
Right?
be like, wait, did our emails have higher resolution? Well, we'll put an end to that.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Recon Paint Gaming. You
Yeah.
hosed it over for all of us.
So this thing has
But
10
what a
health.
wonderful tank.
10 health.
It's monstrous.
But 4
It's
crew. So it's again like the IS-3 to where like probably because this is later war, the tanks could do more with less crew, which is interesting because as you get further down the line, the less crew you have, the less things you're going to be able to equip to it. So it might be a weakness later on that I'm not going to be able to foresee because I can't fit as much as I could in earlier wave tanks.
right. You are not going to. I mean, you're not. So you're only going to have, 4 chances of the named uh, crew members.
Yeah, because it's got your
But
commander, radio operator, gunner, loader,
loader, gunner, and
and
that's it.
yeah,
But there are some really sweet cards for those 4 slots.
well, a driver,
But
I
don't
think.
forget, equipment though. Okay, right? So you're not stuck. Oh, I'm only going to have 4 cards. Oh no, no,
Mm-mm.
no.
So
So
I'm finding that a
you
lot.
could turn this into a beast. You could turn this easily into a beast, and we've been doing that.
So
So
that's what I'm saying. If you can't fit the preventive maintenance because another crew's taking up, you got Spall Liner, but that takes an equipment slot. If you want to take something like concealment, but you don't have a crew slot to take up concealment, or you have camo netting, but you don't want to take up another slot, so you take on concealment instead. Like there's mix and matching going on, and it.
oh yeah, oh yeah, and furthermore, for those who are new to the game, if you look at your cards carefully, they are divided up. And even your generic cards, you're going to have a commander, you're going to have a loader, you're going to have a gunner, you're going to have that radio operator. They're generically titled that way, and there's goodies in there. So if you don't want to spend the points on the big expensive guys, you can cheapen it up a little bit and get similar, not exact, but similar results. And don't forget, it's a dice game. I mean, I just happen to be holding 6 right here in my hand. Let me
Well,
roll and see what
you need
happens.
7.
Okay. So out of 6 dice, I got 1 hit, 2 crits. And since I'm stationary, I'm going to re-roll the other 2 because I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
And I got
Oh,
another crit and another hit. So in the game, dice matter.
yeah.
So
Because this thing,
you can turn it into a wonderful thing.
I do want to read the description. It says capable of running rings around slower tanks. The Soviet T-62A is the top of the line configuration of all medium tanks. Strong survivability and mobility combined with top tier firepower and initiative. Maximize the high initiative by taking Maria Boyko. I couldn't read her last name, and lend lease oil and boost the rest of your platoon with signal boosting. Yeah, so it tells you it has signal boosting.
Yeah.
Um,
So
yeah, it's a
that's pretty
medium
cool.
tank. That's what is even crazier. This is a medium tank. This isn't a heavy tank.
I'm sorry, it's a medium tank with 10 hit points.
Yeah, well, because the IS-3 is a heavy tank. This is a medium
Yeah.
tank.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that 10 hit points
Oh,
for
that's
a tank
huge.
in the game. It's absolute. Which explains why it's 120 plus points.
Yeah.
You
Man.
know,
So
but
go
at
ahead.
120 points, if you really, really, really wanted to, and I don't know why you would, you could field 2 of these in another off tank.
You really could. I don't know how well it would. It would definitely be
So
tough
like
because
with
I took the T-29 and the IS-3. Those are very 2 tough tanks. I mixed in an Archer and a Crusader. The Crusader, it can take several hits to kill it. It's not
Mhm.
it, but it isn't all. It's not also flimsy. And my archer held up for 3 turns, taking fire from 3 different tanks. So I you can take 2 of these bad boys. That if they're 100, if this says 126, you're looking at 200 and if I can do math, 40 no
52.
52. So you still have
52.
you have 48 points to work with. You could squeeze in 2 tanks if you
A
could find
light
it.
tank, or you could beef it up a little bit. There's stuff to do. There's
Yeah,
stuff to do.
I don't know if you could take 2 of them
Or
and
just
300
say we're
points.
going to play 500-point games from now on.
I know. Yeah, now you're getting crazy. Then at that point, I'm taking like 3 archers. Have at it.
Yeah.
All right, what do we want to do next?
Well,
Which one?
let's go down to the Americans. We're here, or at least in my picture. We're going to look at the T-95,
Part
and
submarine.
this is a tank destroyer.
Part. I don't even know
It's
what
like,
that is.
hey, the Russians experiment. Let's try it too, right? Um,
That is awesome looking.
it is awesome looking, but it kind of reminds me of the Millennium Falcon when it's got the mandibles in the front,
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
right?
what this reminds me of, and
You know what else it reminds me? It reminds me of like the Russian uh, any line of the Maz tractors that they used for towing,
there you go.
because they were split, and those were cool.
God.
It's not a Maz
And
7907, which was what 24 by 24
and the detail on
wheel
this thing.
drive.
I'm loving
But
like the rail around the top part, which
oh
almost
yeah,
like that's
look
a
at the back
ridiculous
deck.
amount of detail.
The engine compartment on the back, it's got slope sides. It's designed to take a hit. You know, it's no more straight sides really. Now the skirting is one issue, but you can't get away from that. But everything else is slanted.
Oh,
It's
I'm talking about the sculptor. Whoever sculpted this model definitely went to town and had fun.
oh yeah.
The
Well,
detail on it
they
is incredible.
they put into what at this scale you put in what you can put in.
Yep.
So you may not get all the little greeblies that are on the tank, but you're getting a lot. And I mean, I'm just looking at it here. I can see an axe.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, there's stuff here to be had,
All right.
which is cool. And I like the fact that they're going into that level of detail.
All right.
I
So
love that.
that's like a 155 millimeter cannon. That's going.
Hopefully, yeah, small. Just
It gives you big gun, and it looks like an initiative +1. It could be -1 for I think like 6 points or something like that. You got Dorothy Palmer, who is going to give you again preventative maintenance. Again, there's the theme and repair. 6 cents. The Ford GAFM 2A1, which is going to give you, it looks like +2 in, during the movement phase, and then another cannon, which is 105 millimeter. Which gives you an initiative and
a boost.
that
Say
can't
hello.
that can't be +1 firepower.
Say it.
I
It
want to
looks
make
like a
sure.
+1. It looks like a +1.
That looks like a +1 firepower.
It's a +1.
I don't
Gotta
know.
be.
I'm gonna say, well, it's
Okay.
105
If it,
millimeter. I don't know.
it could
Bust out your
be,
magnifying glass. You tell me.
I'll try.
I mean, but if that's the case, if I'm hoping it's a minus.
+1.
Yeah, you're gonna
It's
say
a
+1
+1.
for how many points though? That looks like 4 points. That can't be true.
Try again.
I don't know. I think the first time I saw it was minus
You think it's
because
97? I think it's 97.
97 points for the tank. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind, though, you're going to find out why we're under 100 here in just a moment.
Oh yes.
Getting to that, 7 firepower. So if you do have the big gun, it's 8 firepower.
That's if it's a plus.
If it's I think it's a plus. But
I can't,
survivability of 4.
I can't imagine
Mobility,
that thing would give you another firepower for a single digit cost.
I don't know. We can't be sure at this point.
See,
It has
I should have wrote this down because I saw earlier. Yeah, that only looks like for 8 points or 6 points or something like that, and it does look like a plus. I'm so worried it's a
yes, it
plus.
does. Okay. So 7 firepower, add the card, 8 firepower, right? It has a survivability of 4. It's initiative 2
And a mobility. Oh, the mobility.
of 1 of 1. Now you do put on your 6th sense. You take your die and you
Oh,
hope for the best. In which case, my best was a crit, which means is I'm moving 1 more.
I mean, the
It's
flip side.
it's
Go ahead.
so we got what 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hit points. Only 4 people in the tank.
So the fact
It
that
can be.
it can sit in cover and get +2 to its defense. I don't care what its
Now you're at
initiative is.
6.
I don't care what its
Now
initiative is.
you're at
I don't care what its
right. So
mobility
now
is.
you're at 6. You're at 6. So no matter what you're maxed out for your defense die every time. You
Yeah.
got 6 because you can't go over. So you can only go over on your firepower. So you're going to get that 7 die, that 8 die, the mythical 9 beast, and I'm pretty sure at some time in our lifetime we're going to see the 10, which
So
is I think that's going to be the tank that launches the nuclear option.
I want to look this
You
up
know, the nukes.
because one of the gentlemen in the Discord gave a quick review, I think, of each one. The T95, it's slow but it's stealthy. It was once lost for over a quarter of a century in a field. Though I'm disappointed it doesn't have Fortress, but it does have Force Value. That said, it does look like it'll possibly have some interesting module options, including the big gun. So it is meant to be
Yeah.
in cover. It looks like squished to the ground, and the barrel is
Yep.
also lower so that it can
Yep.
really skim across
And
the
you can
land.
guarantee it did not have a wide traverse on it.
No, definitely not. So I
and
think this is going to sit in cover. It's just going to again wait for something to peek its head out, and then
and
take its head clean
unleash
off.
holy hell. Yeah. Just like,
What is
oh,
it?
I'm sorry, I have to throw 8 dice at you.
And nine health,
Right.
which that's it's. We always say this. Oh, this thing has 6 health, 7 health. That's a lot for a tank. Now that we're in these tanks, 9 health is it's a lot, but it's not.
Yeah.
At least
It's
for
on the
100
low
points.
here to make no sense whatsoever. It's on the low end of high.
But that survivability is just going to make it ridiculous.
Right.
And what does it have? It has assault gun. Okay, so it doesn't have light flank or anything, so you're fine there too.
Yep. It's out there designed to do exactly what it says. Tank destroyer.
Because again, I'm toying with tanks that have a survivability of 4. There isn't really a turn that you're not rolling 6 dice. Even at one point to where I would move, so that's +2 to my 4, so I'm already at 6. If your tank moved, that's going to add to my defense if I'm in cover at all. If I have any other additions because of upgrades or something. At one point, I think I was rolling 10 dice, which go down to 6, but he was trying to get behind me in my flank. I'm like, don't even bother. The more that you move to get there, it's just going to make me still have 6 dice, and then because you're close, I'm going to have the advantage because you're only getting 5 because your survivability is nowhere near mine. So,
yeah, your host just stay where you are and let me pummel you. Everything will be okay.
Just be careful with tanks like this because force survivability is so hard to get through in the long run if you're not careful.
So now we have to go to.
This thing never won a beauty contest, I'll tell you what.
Not sure. It's like, oh my! It's like a Sherman that had sex with a Lee.
It's a camel. It is the government trying to create a horse, and instead they created a camel.
They built. Yes.
It's got a hump.
But yes, it does. It has a very distinct. It's almost like, is that a smokestack? Is that nope? That's a hatch. It's ugly.
Oh God, yes.
But The important part is to look at its stats. So let's start with the cards first.
All right, so this thing's gonna come with a 120 millimeter gun, which gives it just +1 firepower. See, for like, I think it says either 12 or 16 points. That makes sense to me, which is why I think the other
Yeah.
gun was minus.
Not moving.
Heavy heat, giving you the Deadeye again, giving you
Nice.
intuition, and then finally Francis with concealment and the sound detection, which gives you +1 against SPGs for I think it's going to be 9 points because concealment's 6, so an SPG detection is I think 3,
Right.
so for a total of 9.
So let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
6 firepower, but if you equip the gun, you're throwing 7 dice, which is good.
Yeah,
3 survivability.
it's pretty
Right.
tough.
Mobility. 1.
See, why does that
Just the
it
one.
didn't bother me on the T95, but it bothers me on this thing. I don't know why.
Because this looks more like a tank from World War II. You're expecting it to move, and it's not that kind of a tank, right?
No.
Because it is a tank destroyer. But initiative
3.
3?
And what is this? I think it's 76 points or 74 points.
Yeah, it's a cheap tank destroyer.
That is cheap.
Okay, but 10 hit points,
Yeah.
and you've got 6. Count them. 6 crew slots.
Well, yeah, because you could fit any you could
Well,
fit a
there's
pool.
a dance floor inside of the tank. Okay, so I mean, and it's 2-story. You can obviously see it's a 2-story structure.
Yeah.
You know, the crew quarters are above, the swimming pool's on the lower deck, but everything was cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Probably came with air conditioning and a laundry room.
Oddly enough, English tanks.
Yeah.
Have a hot water dispenser for tea.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. They need to. Matter of fact, so I've been fiddling with green stuff to make like little makeshift things, like little
Yes, you have.
coolers. I would love to make just like a tea cup and just like start gluing them to my tanks. They would look
Which ones are
flawless.
the English tanks? Which ones are the English tanks? Look for the teacup.
Yeah, it's always got the teacup, and I can make it magnetized so I can take it off and take sips during the game and put it back. Patent pending.
that would
Don't you
be
dare steal my idea.
Yeah. Yeah, trademark.
Trademark. TM.
Well, you know, it's like those donut shops out on the West Coast that got a giant donut on top of their building. You could put a giant teacup on a scaffolding and be like, tea, right?
Oh, that'd be brilliant. All right, well, I'm gonna have to do that now. So, this thing, I don't think I would put anything on it.
I'm not hating it. That's for darn sure.
Well,
And
it's just one of those tanks where you would like this because no, what are you putting on that? No, don't put that on there. Just leave it as is. Just put it back. Put it in the field as is. Let it sit in a corner. It can take some hits.
I would equip the big gun.
Yeah,
I would, because that's simple.
it's
I
like
know I'm rolling 7
86
dice.
points maybe.
Okay. And if I can throw maybe so I'm rolling 7 dice and maybe the cheapo adrenaline rush. So when I do get in the red, okay, I'm gonna roll 8 dice. You know, the last hurrah.
Yeah.
And I've got 3 survivability. Maybe I throw on a camo netting, right? Stay stationary.
Yeah.
So it's a tank destroyer. It's not going to move often. It's really not.
I wouldn't even know if
And-
I would throw on the concealment or the camo netting because I would just make the houses like block the easy starting line of sight, and then once you come around it, you had to have moved to come into my line of sight. That way, I'm not moving. You did. I get my 6 dice. You get whatever you moved.
Right. Well, I always think it would be interesting because we know we can destroy walls.
Yes.
You know, those big stone walls that the farmers made, but those explode easily. Why can't I destroy the houses? They look really shoddy. I mean,
Well, you can shoot the houses, but what happens is the it would either go completely through the house or it goes into the house, explodes, and then just the windows go out. Like, because most of the buildings were made out of like stone and brick, and I don't think it would completely just turn the house into a pile of rubble. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I'd have to
I would
research that.
just I think a round going into a building does bad things.
Oh, it definitely does bad things, but I don't think it's going to level the
Because an
house like you think it does.
RPG goes into a building, bad things happen, and that's smaller than these rounds, and
Oh,
especially the high explosives.
you just lose a part of the roof and maybe, a rocking
I
chair.
want to knock the buildings down. I want the flat Earth. Okay, I want to be a flat earther on the battlefield. All right, I want.
See, I
You
would
know,
like some houses that are demolished so that way you can see through them or shoot through them, but it gives you basically unlimited cover and hull down. So you can
I'm
shoot
thinking
through it all
about
you
that.
want, but that's it.
I've been thinking about a customized 3 foot by 3 foot mat. And
Oh,
it's not a mat.
if
It's a
we're
3 foot
talking.
by 3 foot square, and then having undulating hills,
All right, if we're
not
talking
buildings.
hypotheticals, I now want, because I'm already starting to download and I haven't started printing it yet, but I want like on the mats that we get from Gale Force 9, like the haystacks and
Oh
like the
yeah,
little wagons, the trucks, just like in World of
yeah,
Tanks Online. So it's not that they really do anything. Maybe they can give you cover, but
ish.
once something shoots at you, it just explodes and it's off the table.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Just reach it, and pull it off.
you can even print them as a flat token, kind of like what we have with the trees and the houses. So you
Right.
just start creating little tokens that are like this big, that are hay bales, and then for us like diehard fans that can 3D print all this stuff, we stick it
Yeah.
on, we glue it on top of the token. There's our haystack in 3D style. But I'm gonna start doing that and then playing with it on the table. It might not do anything, but I want the visual effects.
Right. Because it just looks cooler. Because
Mm.
remember, you don't have to paint your tanks,
No,
but when you do, they hit better.
oh, no, they shoot better and they defend better. But the
Yep.
better your tank looks, the more of a target it has on its
Right.
back.
Because all of a sudden, oh, I want to kill that really cool looking thing there.
It's like, oh, that paint job's amazing. That's gonna die first. So
Yeah, gotta blow it up. Sorry, now you can't use it. Nanner, nanner, nanner.
exactly.
Um, all right.
Yeah.
Impressions of Wave 13. Good show. Nicely done. Well done. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting them, and I am so looking for. I tell you what, I would love to field. Just if I could pick two tanks. All right, I'm going to say it. Just two tanks to use on the mat.
Okay.
T62A
Okay.
and the T95.
Ooh. Okay. Because I would
Think
definitely.
about it.
I'm going Tortoise.
You've got You've got your forward rush, right?
Yep.
So there's your T62 is going to do bad things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then while it's doing bad things, I'm sitting in the back launching bad things. I am raining steel rain upon your head, high explosives, whatever I can get my hands on, whatever. I'm throwing it at you. And I'm going to be throwing 8 dice.
So I've even had a new tactic to where I had an archer sitting next literally to my IS-3. So that way, if you want to try and kill my archer, which it's a very small tank, it has 5 attack power, but it's going to still shoot. You're not going to want to shoot my IS-3. You're really going to want to get rid of that archer. So then you have to be in line of sight of both of those tanks. So I was basically having free range with my IS-3. So if you had your T95 and then you put like the cheapest piece of junk next to it, so people would ensure to get line of sight to it, but your or your T20, what is it?
Right.
T95 has complete line of sight.
Yeah, so your archer just rolled 3 hits and a crit, and then I re-rolled and got a blank.
Oh no, so I move with my archer because it has a mobility of 2, survivability of 1,
yeah,
plus cover, and it's a tank destroyer, so I get 5 dice defense. If you moved, I get 6 dice on a tank that I gave an extra hit point to, so it had 5 health. It was taking shots from Panthers, it was taking shot from a Challenger, and it lived for 3 turns. So
yeah. Yeah.
Just
And once
don't
again,
count out
you know,
tanks like that. They're so cheap
no.
and they're so effective.
Oh, yes, they are. Yes, they are. So I'm very pleased with this.
Yeah.
This wave. I think it's. I think they put a lot of thought into this one actually,
So I mean,
because there's some. It's even okay.
what?
Even at 97 points, okay, you're close to the 100 for the T95, and of course it's English. It's going to be a very cheap tank. It's going to be 70 something, 74, whatever that is, 74, 79. You're going to throw your upgrade cards on there. We are creeping up into the points world, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But you know everybody says, "Oh well, the Lee is so ineffective now," and it's like, yeah, it can be, but you know, you throw it into your list, and you've got all these modern tanks, and there's a Lee out there, and your opponent's going, "What are you doing?" And if you can throw them on tilt because of a tank, so
Yeah.
much the better. Who
It's
knows?
it's basically what can you do with it? So if I can take a Lee tank with like recon and give it a little
Mhm.
bit of extra health, give it something to where it has a little bit more, shakeability to where now its initiative is really high and it can move last. It's like, okay,
Right.
I'm going to get that Lee. It's like, all right, well, I'm going to move twice. Now I'm behind this house. It's like, now are you going to really come out around everything so that my other tanks that are monsters have complete line of sight to you just to kill a Lee for like 40 points? Like, is that what you're telling me?
Right. Yeah. So there's things that can be done, and um, I think the game is fun enough that yeah, I could do that if I really wished to. Now tournament wise, yeah, maybe not, but there's so many tanks out there now for us to choose from and to play with and to use these wonderful upgrade cards. Yeah, this is a step. This is a bold step in a direction that they've been taking lately, and I like it. I do
Oh,
like it.
absolutely. Yeah, because the fact that we've done this now 300 points, there is definitely a lot
There's
more
action.
variance
Yes,
with
yes, yes. There
what
is.
you can field, and
Well,
you can field because I remember like the Panther. I love the Panther, great tank. I couldn't do anything with it because if I took one Panther, it wasn't as effective as I wanted. If I took two Panthers, now that's a lot of dedication to points, and then I could
right,
field maybe a third. Now with 300, like you can field two Panthers and still be padded enough to have a lot of other stuff in your list. And those two Panthers can get things done, especially if you upgrade their barrel to 6 firepower. And they
right.
got 3 mobility, they can move around, they can shoot, they can duck, dodge, dive, dip, dodge, all that stuff.
Well,
And
if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a tank.
yeah,
So,
and their high initiative is a pain in the butt to deal with too. Starting at
right.
initiative 5
Yep.
or 6.
So, are you happy with where things are going?
Absolutely. The only thing is, uh, Gale Force 9, come here, come here. We need more light.
Yes,
We
come
need more
closer.
light tanks. Light, fluffy, baked at
You-
350 degrees for 25 minutes. Tanks. We need light tanks.
I want the 20 minutes though. I want the 20 minutes.
Yeah, I want instant. I want instant light tanks.
I
Because
want instant gratification. I want to put it into my toaster and have something,
well,
right?
because again, like I even took the what was it? The T70 versus I think you.
Yeah.
It lived. It didn't
Yes,
die
it did.
immediately.
Much to my hatred. Yes, it did
Much to
not
my
die.
hatred. Because
That
it,
bastard.
and I think that was at 300 points, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because yeah, it was at 300 points because your mouse was trying to kill it, and it couldn't because your mouse had to move to get to an initiative or get to one of the objectives, and my tank was moving. You're moving. That's I had survivability of 3 at that point, but you're rolling 7 dice, and your best bet is like 3 to 4 hits.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it starts at
Yep.
initiative
So
6, and it's say because that thing's 29 points. The Crusader, which is basically the top light tank that you can take because of its health and everything else, the Crusader starts at 37, so I can save 8
right.
points, and
Well, use
I can make the
Cromwell.
T70 annoying.
Use the Cromwell. That's a
The,
faster tank.
it is, but it's that -1 health. Or no, the
Yeah.
Crom.
Well,
Oh, now I remember the Cromwell. But we need more light tanks because we need, and maybe that's why they don't want to do more light tanks because it gives you that extra firepower for fun tanks. But I learned
yeah.
my T70 doesn't have to see you to get the extra hit. So if there's a house and you're here and I'm on the other side and we're within 1, you can't see me. I still get an extra
I
die.
shoot. I'm still shooting.
I'm still shooting.
Yeah.
I still get an extra die. So I don't think any of these tanks are out except for the Valentine, and I will hard stamp that all day.
Patrick hates the Valentine.
No, I love the Valentine. It is my favorite tank in the entire game, but I have never found a way to make that tank good. I've tried. I've tried Recon, Sixth Sense. It can take some shots, it can survive, but it's not going to do anything for you worthwhile. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I still absolutely love Shermans, and I absolutely adore the Pershing.
Mm,
But if you've noticed lately, how often have I been using them?
none. You've never been using a. I'm going back to the Shermans. I was going to use Lola, or what is it, Loza's. I was going to use that one because what is that thing's like 6 health, initiative. Where's Lola? Where are you? There you are. Let's say 5 firepower, 1 survivability, 3 mobility, initiative 6. And then I think you can upgrade its cannon on top of that. Yeah, you can upgrade its cannon to either 7 with high explosives, or you can give it the M4A3E2 for +1. I don't know if that's correct. That might be wrong in Battle Scribe, but you can give it 7 firepower, which then I was going to give it some shells so it could be 6 firepower and lose the high explosive. But yeah, like nothing
Yep.
is useless.
Yep.
Everything is definitely useful.
And they're pretty.
Mm-hmm.
They are they're good looking, excellent molds, good detail.
Yeah,
They're going to be fun to field.
I'm definitely having fun
So,
painting them, which I'm going to paint another
yep,
tank soon and do a video for it as requested by someone in the World of Tanks Discord. All right, I think that's going to do it.
I think so, dude.
All right,
I got nothing else.
everyone, if you are going to Adepticon or thinking about going to Adepticon, please sign up for the World of Tanks tournament that is happening, I believe, Thursday. Unfortunately, if you were looking forward to the what's the scenario that you're running, Robert?
Gold Rush.
If you're
Gold
looking for the
Rush.
Gold Rush, I'm sorry, the tickets are now sold out.
Are they sold out? Because there was one left yesterday.
I checked, I think this morning, and it's now no longer on the list. So if you search for it, it's gone, which means I believe it's sold out. I'm sure you can wait list or try to show up day of on what is it, Sunday, and see if there's any room available,
Yeah.
or just stay and watch. But yeah, Robert created an entire scenario. Thankfully, Gale Force 9 approved it, so that sold out in minutes.
They're doing the price support for it.
Yep.
Not to
And
mention what we're putting in.
Thursday
Right,
still
it's-
has tons of tickets, so please go sign up. I cannot take Uncle Mark winning another world championship, and I can't do
God,
anything
no.
about it.
Yeah. So yeah, sign up for it. I know who your TO is for that particular event.
Yep. That'd be
Again,
Robert. Exactly. Robert's
yeah.
running the World of Tanks over at Adepticon.
And I wrote that scenario, and just to give you a taste, it takes place over a 3-foot by 9-foot battle map, and it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be
gonna
amazing.
very,
Good luck out there. We're all counting on you. I hope you don't get a mouse.
Because I mean, your allies going after the gold that the Germans are hiding, but there's greed involved.
Oh yes.
You could have the gold.
Oh, that happened towards the end of the war. They were burning it. Just gold alone. They were just doing. Oh Jesus, smuggling it everywhere.
There can be only one winner. That's all I'm saying. And so, like, if you have to kill your best friend, well, somebody's got to die.
Yep.
So it's going to be a very good scenario. I ran it. I came up with it. I gave it to Pat to overlook. We did a
Yeah.
couple of changes here.
It
Gale
looks
Force
great.
9 looked at it and said, "Yeah, do it as it is."
Oh, we got to run a demo of
So
it too.
yeah, I think we'll do that at TotalCon.
So yes, the other thing is if you are in the Massachusetts area around February, there's what's called TotalCon. It is another con to where there are going to be board games, tabletop games, and everything galore. The amount of stuff that they fit in that hotel is incredible. But we're going to be
Yeah,
running a World of Tanks Learn to Play tournament there as well, and tickets are still available. There's a
and
total of 12 spots. I think we've already sold like 3 or 4 tickets to it.
right, and the price is right for those tickets, by the way.
Yes, free.
Free.
Yeah,
It's a free tournament that we like to put on, and
yeah, we
there's
did it last
high
year.
support from Gale Force 9 yet again and us.
Absolutely.
So if you show up, you're walking away with something,
Yep.
guaranteed.
And it's going to be so much fun.
Oh yeah.
But other than that,
Oh,
yeah, no, you're fine.
so
Join the Discord. We're talking tanks in there all the time. We're putting in bat reps. I'm gonna do another bat rep with a game that I just played against an opponent in Tabletop Simulator, which I'm then going to convert into a real life game. We constantly are people looking for games to play, and also we have everything diced up into like locations. So if you're looking for players, you can try to look in there. And if you need help starting something in your area, please let us know. We can walk you through how you can start running
go
demos
ahead
and then
and
build yourself up to
yeah.
league and then tournaments.
Yeah, we fully support this game because frankly, we love playing
Oh God,
it.
I'm now starting to play it once a week, so it's a good time.
And my passion started with the tanks with
Skirmish.
tanks the skirmish game,
Yep, and I'm
and
liking this
the only
version a
reason
lot better.
and the only reason I got into it is I think
Birdo.
Berto and Nims.
Yep.
They did 2 videos on it, and they just glued their stuff together. It wasn't painted, but they were playing it. It was an absolute blast. And then I was kind of scared when they stopped supporting that game and World of Tanks were coming out. I was like,
Oh
oh
yes.
no.
No, I
And
was
then I played
excited.
World of Tanks, and I was like, this is so much better. you know.
Yes,
But I still have
your skirmish.
my skirmish.
Mine's in my box
There,
back
it's
there.
right there. It's right up there. I still have all of that, and I've got Team Yankee up there, and I just love the tanks. And then
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that Clash of Steel.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. All right. Before we keep rambling.
Yeah,
All right.
we're
Thank you
gonna
guys.
talk about Clash of Steel in a future video. I guarantee it,
Exactly.
guys.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Please make sure to click like and subscribe and check out our webpage below, reconpaintgaming.com or recontokens.com for all your token needs. Thank you guys again. And
Yep.
that's it. Thanks for the support. Have a good one.
All right. See ya.
Later.